Solar Energy Corporation of India Limited, hereinafter called as SECI, is the Government of India enterprise under the administrative control of the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. One of the main objectives of the company is to assist the ministry and function as the implementing and facilitating arm of the National Solar Mission for development, promotion, and commercialization of solar energy technologies in the country. With various global developments in technology and manufacturing, renewable energy has become the most affordable and cheapest source for meeting the energy requirements. Initial capacities have been successfully integrated to the grid so far, but with increasing penetration of RE in the energy mix, further capacity addition is expected to face issues due to variable nature and demand supply mismatch. The above aspects rightly point out to the next course of direction of India's energy planning methodology, that is, integrating energy storage systems or ESS with existing and upcoming RE, that is, renewable energy capacity, in order to optimize generation mix while also better utilizing the transmission infrastructure in the country. With respect to increasing the storage component in the energy mix, Central Electric Authority's report on identification of usage of storage as business case and for ancillary services identifies pumped hydro storage system, also called as PSP, and battery energy storage systems, also called as BESS, as the commercially deployed solutions for providing requisite storage capacity. The CES study has revealed that the planning model selects the battery energy storage system from the year 2027-28 onwards and a battery energy storage capacity of 27,000 megawatt or 108,000 megawatt hour, considering a 2-hour battery backup storage, and is projected to be part of the installed capacity in 2029 to 2030. This will be in addition to the 10,151 megawatt of pumped hydro storage system envisaged to be a component of the installed capacity in 2029-30. Going forward, the planning process for transition to a greener energy mix in the country would entail integrating the planned renewable capacity into India's energy grid while ensuring its safety and reliability. Apart from pumped hydro storage plants, BESS are envisaged to be significant element of the future grid with increased share of renewable energy in accordance with the target of 500 gigawatt of non-fossil fuel based capacity to be installed by 2030. BESS assets can provide the required flexibility in generation apart from ensuring the resource adequacy. Besides, energy storage systems also have the potential to enable better utilization of the country's transmission network and reducing network infrastructure footprint. SECI has received interest from prospective buying entities across the country to utilize energy storage systems on demand basis suited to the requirements during the peak and off-peak hours. In view of the above, SECI has invited proposals for setting up of ISTS connected pilot projects of standalone battery energy storage systems or BESS for an aggregate storage capacity of 1000 megawatt hour or 500 megawatt into 2 hours battery backup. SECI shall enter into a battery energy storage purchase agreement, also called as BESPA, with the successful bidders for providing energy storage facility to SECI or buying entities as per the terms, conditions, and provisions of this particular RFS and BESPA. The bid submission date is scheduled for 24th of June 2022. Some of the parameters for this bidding: battery energy storage system developers, hereinafter referred to as BSSDs, selected by SECI, shall set up the BESS on build own transfer, that is BOOT basis, in accordance with the provisions of the RFS document and the standard BESPA. Energy storage facility to be procured by SECI from the above ESS has been provisioned to be done on behalf of the different buying entities of India. The details of buying entities shall be intimated at a later date. SECI shall at its discretion be entitled to substitute any entity in other states only for selling the power from the battery energy storage facility set up by the selected bidder. SECI shall be an intermediary nodal agency for using the energy storage facility and the charging discharging of the BESS in line with respective agreements with the BESSD or the BESS developer and buying entities discoms based on due performance by the concerned parties. The bidders will be free to avail fiscal incentives like accelerated depreciation, concessional customs and excise duties, tax holidays, etc., available, if any, for the projects. The same will not have any bearing on the comparison of bids for selection, as equal opportunity is being provided to all bidders at the time of tendering itself. It is up to the bidders to avail various tax and other benefits. Already commissioned projects cannot be considered under this bidding. Projects under construction or projects under construction or projects which are not yet commissioned will however be considered in case these projects are not already accepted under any other central or state schemes. Enhancement and augmentation of already commissioned projects, irrespective of their capacities, will not be considered an eligible project under this scheme. The battery capacity being installed under this tender cannot be used by the developer as part of the installed project capacity demonstrated under any other tender concluded by any central or state agency as on the last date of bid submission of this RFS. There are general guidelines for implementation of this RFS, some of which I will be sharing now. This RFS has been prepared based on the guidelines for procurement and utilization of battery energy storage systems as part of generation, transmission, and distribution assets, along with ancillary services issued by Ministry of Power White Gazette notification dated 10th of March 2022 and subsequent amendments and clarifications issued thereto until the bid submission deadline for this RFS. SECI has issued this RFS in the capacity of an intermediary procurer as defined in these guidelines. We now move on to the special conditions of this RFS and the scope of work. Under this RFS, the BESSD or the Battery Energy Storage System developer shall be required to set up a battery energy storage system with the primary objective of making the energy storage facility available to SECI or the buying entities for charging discharging of BESS on demand basis. Detailed criteria for performance are sufficiently elaborated in the document. Setting up of the BESS and interconnection of the BESS with the ISTS network will be under the scope of the BESSD. This RFS is technology agnostic on the nature of battery energy systems being adopted by the BESSD as long as it meets the definition of BESS under this RFS and the required performance criteria under the RFS and DESPA. The BESS may be charged by any source of energy, also called as BESS charging source, including conventional energy sources. Ownership of such energy source is not mandatory to be held by the BESSD or the capacity under contract with SECI. Charging and discharging of the system will be under the scope of the buying entity. After the expiry of the term of the BESPA, the project will be transferred to SECI in working condition with defined energy throughput at the end of the term on a as is varies basis in line with the provisions of the BESPA. The total capacity of 500 megawatt oblique 1000 megawatt hour shall be set up at a single location with two projects each of 500 megawatt hour, that is 250 megawatt into 2 hours capacity to be set up at the identified location. A bidder, including its parent, affiliate, or ultimate parent or any group company, shall submit a single bid offering a contracted capacity of either one project, which could be 250 megawatt oblique 500 megawatt hour, or two projects 2 into 250 megawatt oblique 500 megawatt hour in the prescribed formats. The, the project capacity of 500 megawatt Each shall be located in the vicinity of Fatehgarh 3 substation of the ISTS network in the state of Rajasthan, India. Land identification allocation for the projects will be under the scope of transmission licensing owning the identified substation. Land admeasuring 13 acres has been identified for the two projects to be provided through, through sublease right to use basis at an annual lease charge of rupees 1 per plot. Each project will be provided a land area of around 6.5 acres as per the layout shown on the screen. As is visible on the screen, this is the space for the upcoming BESS. This is the Fatehgarh 3 substation of the ISTS network for which work is already going on. The L1 bidder, as discovered after the e-reverse auction, shall have the first right to select a plot for its allocated project from the two plots offered in the above area. Overall transmission and power evacuation network for RE power under ISTS is shown in the current slide. Here phase 1, phase 2 and total transmission for RE power by 24-25 is shown in three different colors. Phase 1 and phase 2 are already underway. Fatehgarh 3 is started to be somewhere in this part of the geography of the state of Rajasthan. A Google map showing the proposed locations to come up is on the screen. The land, as mentioned above, totaling to 13 acres, would be handed over to the BESSD within 60 days from the effective date of the BESPA. In case of any delay in providing clear possession of the identified land to the BESSD, the financial closure and commissioning milestones will be suitably extended. Connectivity with the grid. The project should be designed for interconnection with the ISTS in accordance with the prevailing CERC regulations. For interconnection with the grid and metering, the BESSD shall abide by the applicable grid code, grid connectivity standards, the regulations on communication systems for transmission of electricity, and other regulations procedures as amended from time to time and issued by appropriate commissions and Central Electric Authority. Minimum voltage for interconnection at the ISTS shall be 220 kV. BESSD shall also comply with the requirements mentioned in the first time charging document available on the POSOCO website. The project shall be interconnected to the 400/220 kV Fatehgarh 3 ISTS substation in Rajasthan. Necessary applications for grant of connectivity will be required to be made by the BESSD. All the requisite costs associated with obtaining connectivity shall be borne by the BESSD. Regarding availability of connectivity at the substation, data as made available by CTU shall be final and binding. Commissioning of the project. The commissioning of the project shall be carried out by the BESSD in line with the procedure as per the BESPA. SECI may authorize any individual or committee or organization to witness and validate the commissioning post procedure on site. Commissioning certificate shall be issued by SECI after successful commissioning. The BESSD shall obtain necessary safety clearance from the Central Electricity Authority CEIG prior to commissioning of the project. Part commissioning of the project without imposition of any liquidated damages in terms of the BESPA shall be accepted by SECI subject to the condition that the minimum part commissioning capacity for the first part will be 50 megawatt. The total number of installments in which a project can be commissioned will not be more than three. That is, first initial installment of 50 megawatt and two subsequent installments. However, the SCD, that is scheduled commissioning date, will not get altered due to part commissioning. Irrespective of the dates of part commissioning or full commissioning, the BESPA will remain in force as per conditions of the contract. Commissioning schedule and liquidated damages not amounting to penalty for delay in commissioning has also been provisioned. The Scheduled commissioning date or the SCD for commissioning the full capacity of the project shall be the date as on 18 months from the effective date of BESPA. For example, if effective date of BESPA is 5th of July 2022, the SCD shall be 5th of Jan 2024. The maximum time period allowed for commissioning of the full project capacity with applicable liquidated damages shall be limited to the date as on 9 months from the SCD or the extended SCD as applicable. In case of delay in commissioning of the project beyond SCD until the date as per the clause mentioned above, part part of liquidated damages, the total performance bank guarantee amount of the project shall be encashed on per day basis and proportionate to the balance capacity not commissioned. Delay in commissioning on account of delay in the readiness of ISTS evacuation infrastructure or grid access operationalization has also been provisioned. Subsequent to grant of connectivity, in case there is a delay in readiness of the ISTS substation at the delivery point, including readiness of the power evacuation and transmission infrastructure of the ISTS network until SCD of the project, or delay in grant operationalization of grid access, and it is established that BESS has complied with the complete application formalities as above. The BESSD has adhered to the applicable regulations procedures in this regard as notified by CERC CTU, and the delay in grant of connectivity by the CTU and or delay in the readiness of the ISTS substation at the delivery point, including readiness of the power evacuation and transmission infrastructure of the ISTS network, is a factor attributable to the CTU transmission licensee and is beyond the control of the BESSD. The above shall be treated as delays beyond the control of the BESSD, and SCD for such projects shall be revised as the date as on 30 days subsequent to the readiness of the delivery point and power evacuation infrastructure and or operationalization of the grid access. Decision on requisite extension on account of the above factors shall be taken by SECI. In case of delay in commissioning of the project due to reasons beyond the reasonable control of the BESSD, SECI may extend the SCD after examining the issue on a case-to-case basis. There are also provisions for early commissioning too, which has various conditions depending upon buying entity and SECI, which is a separate topic for discussion, which I would be subsequently sharing in my subsequent sessions or video logs. We now come to the end of today's session. In my next session on the same topic, I shall be sharing my views vis-a-vis project planning and contractual obligations related with this project. Until then, goodbye for now and have a safe and quiet weekend. Thank you.